Let's talk about mental energy. Over the years, I've had clients ask me, give me an idea, give me a model that I can understand how this stuff works, how NLP works, how timeline therapy works. Now, we could explain this from a spiritual level. I could go all the way down to psychoanalysis. In psychology, I could go all the way down to a quantum physics level. And this is a model that I think is easy to understand. It's simple, and I've had great success explaining this over a decade in private practice with my clients. Let's say this bar right here represents your mental energy in a day. The premise here is that we have a finite amount of mental energy, and by that I mean this. You've probably reached a point during the day, sometimes, where you can't even think anymore. You're done. About all you could do is sit in front of a TV and hit the remote, and you're done. Right? It's a finite amount of mental energy because we can't even come up with any more thinking. Now, the good news is that this replenishes every day. You get a good night's sleep. Some people go out and do yoga. You can meditate. You can do self-hypnosis. You can exercise, go out and ride your bike, walk the dogs, take a hike, whatever it may be. Vacations are a great recharge for long-term restoring mental energy. But I think you'll agree, and a general concept as a model, we have a finite amount of mental energy. Now, understand that one of the things that your unconscious mind does, along with housing all your behaviors and all your learnings and understanding and all your emotions and all your memories, one of the things that your unconscious mind does brilliantly is it keeps in check old, unresolved memories that have negative emotions attached to them. Because to let all those things bubble up all at once, to have free rein to your consciousness, would be very disturbing, I think you'll agree. So your mind, if there's unresolved negative emotions attached to memories, it keeps them in check. It puts them on a deep F drive somewhere down in your subconscious, in your unconscious mind. And occasionally, it'll let some up so that you can examine them and explore them. Now, with that model, think about this. If some of those memories involve anger, and some of those memories involve sadness, and some of those memories involve fear, and some of them involve guilt, and some of them involve hurt, and all kinds of other negative emotions, there has to be a tremendous amount of energy expended by your mind just to keep them in check, just to keep them subdued. So this is a really important concept. If these memories and these emotions need to stay in check, your unconscious mind is taking energy to keep them there. What this means, then, is that the energy that's available for you is limited, and you're going through your day operating on the gap. You're operating on the small percentage of mental energy that's left available to you. Here's the symptoms. People are tired more than they used to be. They get headaches. Decision making becomes very, very difficult. I mean, to the point sometimes, depending on how severe this might be, that people have a hard time deciding, should I wear sandals or sneakers? Should I wear brown pants or black pants? Should I wear this blouse or that blouse? What should I have for dinner? Decision making becomes very, very difficult where previously it didn't used to be. Now, if you think of this model, and this is the amount of mental energy that you have available, your unconscious mind is going to take that available energy and do the important things. It's going to keep you alive. It's going to digest your food. By the way, GI symptoms, constipation, diarrhea, cramps, reflux, all symptoms, in my mind at least, of this. We don't have the energy to do all the things we used to do. So your mind is going to delegate whatever energy is there to doing the things that are important to keep you alive. Making a career decision is not vital to your life. Okay? You might think it is, but in terms of the unconscious mind, probably not so much. Thinking about, is this the right career? Am I in the right job? Am I in the right relationship? What do I do with my teenage kids? How do I manage this? What about finances? Should I get a second job? All these big decisions, by the time somebody comes in to see a practitioner like me, what they typically express is they feel stuck. Okay? That's the word that comes up. Their head is telling them one thing, their heart is telling them something else, and their gut is totally confused. Or all three aspects of them are totally confused because they simply do not have the juice, the mental energy, to even think about making a decision that's that big. Contemplating it is exhausting because there's no juice to do it. Now, with that as a model, and you think about the amount of force that it takes to keep all these things in check, what would happen if, in all those past memories, there was no hurt, there was no guilt, there was no fear, there was no sadness, there was no anger? What would happen if, instead of this being limited to the small amount, if all of that juice was free-flowing throughout your neurology? What would happen if there was no gap that you were working on? What would happen if that was 100% or at least close to 100%? And the answer is decision-making becomes easy. Action on those decisions becomes easy. Think about past decisions that you've made that have been relatively easy to make, that have worked out very, very well. Your head, your logical part said, yeah, do it. Your heart, your emotional part said, yep, it feels right. It's the right thing to do. And your gut, your intuition, your instincts said, yes, this is the way to go. Head, heart, and belly all lined up. Decision was easy. And if you think about those decisions, didn't they typically work out well? Very difficult to do unless you've got a lot of mental juice so it's all flowing in the same direction. So the end result, post doing the work, people find that they can make decisions. More importantly, they can act on those well thought out decisions. They have the energy to maintain the actions that they need so that they can ultimately succeed in what it is that they choose to do. That's a very simple model of supply and demand, of energy and free flow, and how it works after we've been able to disconnect those negative emotions. To get a better understanding of what we're talking about with disconnecting those negative emotions, please be sure you watch the video on the site about timeline therapy and how it works. Once again, I'm George Gillis. Thanks for your time. I hope this helps to explain it a little bit more.